Welcome to the BSD Tech Tutorials Google series. We're going to be covering the Google suite of tools. So let's get started. Today we're going to cover what is it, why do we use it, and recognize that it's the tip of the iceberg and there's a lot more here to uncover. So first of all, you might be familiar with places where you can store documents, where you might be able to share them. You're probably familiar with word processing, maybe the Microsoft suite, Word, and presentations like PowerPoint. Maybe you're familiar with maybe some graphic tools, and on the off chance that you've ever seen like a SurveyMonkey or taken some sort of online survey, then you're kind of familiar with the process of survey and data collection. So the thing is that all of these things can be found in their equivalent through the Google Apps for Education, and for the most part, they're free. So we store all of our documents and files and folders in Google Drive. That way you can access them wherever you are, on whatever device you're at, whether that's your teacher MacBook, your phone, maybe you have a device at home, you can access it anywhere. Instead of Word, we use Google Docs, and instead of Excel, we use Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Drawings, Google Forms. Now, on your teacher MacBook, you do have access to the Microsoft Suite, but our students don't. So we'll get into that in just a minute. So it's helpful to know that while we are familiar with a lot of these things, a lot of those things can also be found in the Google Suite of products. And they all function under Google Chrome. Now, that is important to know because anytime you're working in any of these environments, we're really going to recommend that you do all googly things in Google Chrome. So again, on your teacher MacBook, you probably have access to Safari, which is the Mac web browser. You have access to Firefox. You have access to I don't even know if you have Internet Explorer, but you also have Google Chrome. And honestly, it is the one and only browser that I use. I get rid of all of the other ones and just use Chrome. If at any time I run into an issue, I might open up Firefox, but for the most part, I do all of my online functioning in Google Chrome. Now, as I said, it is the tip of the iceberg, but the main component or reason that we use it is because our students all have Chromebooks. They have Chromebooks from 3rd grade to 12th grade in a 1-to-1 setting. They are touchscreen, and the newer version that's rolling out has an attached stylus. Now, because it is called a Chromebook, one would think, oh, okay, Chrome. That means it uses Google Chrome and the Google suite of products, and you would be exactly right. So that's basically all a Chromebook does. It doesn't have the functionality to do anything other than work out of all things that are connected to Google Chrome. So because of that alone, it's a thing that that's why we say you need to use the Google products so that you can better direct instruct your students on how to use their Chromebooks. While we might be able to do a lot of really cool and fun things in other programs, including even the Apple suite of products. So just like we might be used to Microsoft Word, and now we're being told there's a Google Doc, well, you also have access to Apple Pages. So it's all about kind of deciding what the best program is, but knowing that our students all have a Chromebook is kind of the biggest selling point for why we would use Google Docs, so that we have a better understanding of what our students have. But on top of that, we have added benefits of the fact that it is a great platform to use when we're working collaboratively, not just with students, but with our teammates. So there's a lot to be said about the Google suite of products. So as I said, the tip of the iceberg really is the original suite, which is Google Drive, Google Docs, Sheets, Forms, Slides, and Google Drawings. But there's other things that we have available that are all a part of our single sign-on using your email from the district to connect to. And we're not going to go into all of these, but it's kind of where I'm trying to tell you this is just the tip of the iceberg. Yes, you as a teacher have your own YouTube channel and YouTube account attached to your BSD email, and we highly recommend that all videos that you create for content with your class be stored in YouTube. It takes up too much space in our Google Drive. You also have access to like the Chrome Web Store so that you can add in extensions and all those great things to make your search options even easier, make all the things that you do in Google Chrome better. You also have access to Google Slides. I think as a teacher you have access to Blogger, but the students don't. So you do have access to Google Sites. And then with Google comes Google Classroom, but we recently here in BSD asked teachers not to use Google Classroom since we do pay for Seesaw for grades pre-K through 5 and Canvas for grades 4th through 12th. So Google Classroom just adds another layer into the mix that is not helpful for our students and parents. So we predominantly use instead a full functioning LMS, which would be Seesaw or Canvas. So as I said, the tip of the iceberg really is those original 5 Google Suite of products, but there's a lot more that you can do in the Google Suite of tools. So we are a Google Apps for Education district, likely because of all of the things that I've mentioned previously. But yeah, our students have Chromebooks and that's how we function. So hopefully that was a good wrap up for you. And if you need any more information on any of the kind of Google Suite of products, know that we have a ton of tutorials and videos and PDs available for you to dive down that rabbit hole and figure out what else you can learn.